Okay, I think we can begin. Good evening, good morning, good day. I'm Paweł Spychalski, this is the FPV University, and we will be doing a live stream for the next hour or so. I know it was a while since the last time we had this our Saturday evening get together, but well, first I was on the vacation, then I almost burned down the house, and then, well, again, I kinda lost will to do basically anything connected with the channel and with the hobby. As you can imagine, having fire at home and the side of my apartment, studio, whatever, burning and smoke everywhere, it's kind of not really something that puts you very optimistic in terms of being very much interested in flying. And to be honest, I was not flying for the last month or so, mainly because of that accident and basically the fact that I just kind of lost the will to fly. And now the fall started and it will be raining probably until March. So I have no idea how this thing gonna look like. However, there are some things that I will definitely want to put into the air because I got some interesting stuff from different places, like this cute little drone. Look how cute and small. Well, not that small. It's after all, it's 2 inches. Look how cute this thing is. And what's interesting, this is the YMZ FPV. Funny name, YMZ FPV. And I kind of have not tested this yet, but kind of feels like the frame, I'm not sure it's even carbon fiber. I have no idea what it is. The top section is for sure the milled, I think it's milled aluminum, but the frame doesn't look like carbon fiber to me. I will have to check what this thing really is. Look how tiny, like cutie little thing. So even for this thing, absolutely, well, kinda, I will want to test this thing. And in the next week or so, I should get a pretty interesting 3D printed aeroplane, like that much of the interesting aeroplane. So definitely something I would like to at least assemble and have some fun with it. Yeah, exactly. It's the Kruszowice Dark Beer from Czech Republic. We had a late summer vacation in the Sudety and Karkonosze mountains last week, and I got me some Czech beer. So today I'm drinking the Kruszowice. Was kind of expecting something sweeter. This one has quite a lot of bitter to it as for the dark beer, but still kind of nice, and those glasses are awesome. It's half a liter. A single glass is basically half a liter of the volume, so it's kind of interesting. So like I said, I should get that big of the aeroplane, 3D printed somewhere from Turkey. I have really quite a lot of the interest in this thing because it might be super interesting. Nothing about the Hewing Ranger T2, I'm afraid. I have no news about that. And I also should, at least I hope, I should get something from the Cadix and the Walk Snail. And you know what that means. Well, I cannot tell you what that means, but I should get something from them. So the October seems to be kind of interesting in terms of the new things to fly. And that's that. And I also recorded in the last few weeks a few videos for the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. So we have some of the material that my Patreons and YouTube channel members already have access to those materials. So actually it should be quite nice, quite good. But I know why you are here. I know why everybody is here, and you are here because of the INAV 7. Yes, INAV 7 is coming, and INAV 7 will be, I don't want to brag, but INAV 7 has a pretty good chance of being the best INAV release ever, because we are really bringing quite a lot of awesome features. I'm pretty sure that majority of you already knows that INAV 7 will bring VTOL. Yes, it will not be that straightforward to set everything up, because it's not like you click on the VTOL and you have a VTOL, because with the VTOL you basically have to set two different mixer profiles and prepare transitions between them and so on and so on and so on. So it's not that it's simple and that easy, but yeah, the VTOL is coming, plus quite a lot of different interesting features, and we're gonna have a brief talk about them during this live stream, because of course. Stefan, did you? Yes, there is a full support since INAV 6 for the O3A unit. It's the emulation mode. That means it offers all the functions that we can offer, but in case of missing character, because the OSD is still rendered on the goggles, then there is just the question mark instead of the character. So if there is something that can be mapped, then there is but if you don't care about, like, numbers are working, letters are working, some common glyphs between INAV and Betaflight, all those are working. But because INAV always had much more glyphs, much more characters used than the Betaflight, some just cannot be mapped directly to, and then you just have either something that replaces this character or just a question mark. But everything works. So it's just like Betaflight and more, much more. Yes, INAV just has more of that stuff. But honestly, I have no idea that batteries are so dangerous. I mean, I saw for a few times that how LiPos are burning. Yeah, it happened here and there, especially in the flying field, like you crash something with the quad, battery got punctured, there is a lot of smoke and stuff. But I had no idea that this thing can be so devastating when got in fire in the apartment. Honestly, I was shocked. I already have the video of how this thing started and how we kind of found out that the apartment is on fire. But I was shocked that it brought so much havoc. This whole wall, I still have to paint it. Somehow I lost interest in that. I got the paint. I got the paint, I got the base, but I don't have a will to actually paint the wall yet, but I will do it. I definitely will have to do it because, well, it kind of looks absurd. I think I know why the LiPo got fired. Caught fire. I think that I messed something up when connecting the balance lead, and I was parallel balancing for LiPos. No idea what really, how, I had no will to run the numbers. I think that just two cells were completely unchecked by the charger. And because I think one of those cells had much lower internal resistance than the others, it just was absorbing much more of the electricity, and as a result, it just overcharged and like went out, brought the next one and the third one. And finally, do you have how fucking hard it is to dispose a partially burned down battery? I had no idea because I already like handled that, but let me show you something. That's the 6S LiPo, right? When you want to dispose a 6S LiPo, it's kind of relatively, it's partially burnt. Anyhow, when you want to dispose a partially burnt LiPo, or you want to dispose the LiPo, you have to discharge. So you connect something of that can discharge the battery, some kind of the resistor, lamp, a bulb, whatever, until this discharge to basically 0 volts. Then you just shorten the wires, and after a day or two the battery is completely depleted. You can more or less safely dispose it in the special place that accepts batteries, and you are done. Because when the battery is completely discharged, it's no longer dangerous. You can puncture it, it will not ignite, it will not catch fire. But Damian M, yes, there will be VTOL. Yes, I know everybody wants to know that. But imagine how to discharge 3 cells when the other 3 cells exploded. They do no longer exist. Those wires are connected to basically you have any idea what, how to safely connect a discharging device, even the light bulb, to discharge the remaining 3 cells. I was like, how to solve this problem, because I cannot just throw the battery away because it will catch fire. I don't want to puncture this while I live kind of in the relatively populated area, so I cannot just do something like that. I see that JP Spin FPV had an idea, so I had to figure out something. What? Salt water. Because salt water acts as a conductor with the relatively high resistance. Then I was just soaking the 3 remaining cells in the salt water for like a week. Then I thought, okay, now the batteries are dead. I can safely discharge them. I can safely throw them away. But I had an idea. I will just puncture one of the cells. I punctured one of the cells, and it got in fire again. Okay, but this was really like short burst of fire. I throw it back into the salt water again, and it kind of like after another 2 weeks, it kind of like completely discharged, like to absolute zero, and actually threw those remaining cells out 2 days ago. But that was something. Probably the damage would be much higher if I was not charging on the wooden table, because the biggest damage was from the fact that the wooden table got on fire, and that was something. I also got me a couple of those bad boys. I know that they are not really for putting out LiPos, because they are only of the type... what's the type of those batteries? I don't remember. But they are good for almost anything. And if anything besides the LiPo gets burning, then you can extinguish that fire. Not the LiPo itself, but at least I have a couple of those. So in case of more adventures like that, I should be covered. And as I also mentioned a few times, I'm building a house right now. By the way, I already have a ceiling. Like a ceiling, not a roof, but a ceiling. So, and the next week they will be building a roof, the construction company. So I will have something like a dedicated charging spot in the garage, tiled with ceramic tiles, so nothing gets burned. Yeah. That will be something. So be very, very, very fucking careful when handling the LiPo batteries, and triple check if you correctly connected all the balancing leads, especially when you are doing the parallel charging. Because if one of the batteries is not connected with the balance connector, then those cells are basically unmanaged at all. Even the voltage on the main lead is not really important. The charger will not be able to detect that any of the cells is overcharged, undercharged, or even not connected completely, because the other cells will pretend that it's really happening. So be careful with the parallel charging equipment. That if you do, be prepared. After 7 years, I started flying in 2015. No, after 8 years, that was my first LiPo fire during charging. So not that bad. That means maybe it's not really like, Tech 49, you should update. You should update INAV. There's not a single good idea to keep with the old INAV versions, even on the place. But okay, INAV 7. INAV 7. I have some news about the INAV 7, and you can, Abu Talib, you can puncture them underwater, but only the fact that you puncture them doesn't mean that they will really kill the charge. So it should be salt water, and be really very, very, very careful, because it might just go like psst, like that. So careful. Battery explosion prevention. I wish. But okay, INAV 7. INAV 6 was released in the March this year, and I think it's kind of time to slowly start the process of releasing the INAV 7. When it will happen? We plan to release the INAV 7 release candidate somewhere in the November, so we still have 1 month to adding new features, and there will be quite a lot of the new features added to the INAV, by the way, and then probably 2 months, because most probably the whole November and still December will be for testing and removing the potential problems that will be with INAV 7. And then early next year, in the very, 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 very late this year, we will actually release the INAV 7 to the public. What will it mean? Should you upgrade? Yes, we really do strongly suggest that everybody upgrades from version to version. We are not doing that very often. There is usually the migration information. Even setting up everything from scratch is not that complicated, and we absolutely do not support old versions. Once we release the INAV 7 and you will have some kind of the questions or problems for the INAV 6 or INAV 5, we will reply, please install the latest firmware. And if you don't install the latest firmware, we will just say sorry. So that's that. More beta prints. Curious if you know if the TinySlabs real pit switch is compatible with INAV. TinySlabs website has CLI instruction for beta flight, but there is no info for INAV. I have no idea what you are talking about, but we can copy paste and the fuck? What's going on? Okay, something kinda exploded over here. Wait a minute. I think I have to one more time. Screen left, screen right. I'm not using OBS recently that often, and I think that now I cannot. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on over here? Why can't you see my right screen even though... Okay, and now it works. Like, what the hell? Anyhow, it's working again. So let's see what the... what the hell is that? Real PID to FCC UART path, ground from battery to battery, CLI, resource serial RX. What? Oh, this is a pin IO. So I think it will work with every pin IO. If you have any path that can be driven by the PIO, this will work. But because in INAV you cannot freely define the pin IO, this will unfortunately not work. And I'm pretty sure that this, what they have over here, will also not correctly work in case of some flight controllers that already have the pin IO 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever set up. So no, unfortunately this will not work out of the box. Like they say over here, but if your flight controller has a pin IO, then you can connect this to the pin. On the other hand, there are many flight controllers that already have the switch built in. So then, like, what's the point of using that? But okay, we're here for INAV. Okay, we have questions about INAV in general, so let me answer some questions. And Damian, will there be a way to download mission maps on the SD card to get a high around ground level, or this is processing power not enough? No, this is not possible yet. There is just not enough of the, let's say, developer resources to do something like that. So no, it's not possible to load the height into the height map into the SD card to have this displayed on the fly in the OSD. So unfortunately, this thing will not happen, and currently there are no plans like that. Christopher Roch, does INAV 7 support older hardware? I have some birds with Omnibus FCs, and I want to dust off during the winter. Just like before, you can flash it to F4s, F7s, and H7s. For like some time already, we do not support the F3. So if you have Omnibus F3, it won't work. If you have Omnibus F4, yes, absolutely, Omnibus F4s are still supported and are still operational. So this is not a problem. But that depends which Omnibus he has. F3, they are not coming back. We will not absolutely be going back to the supporting F3s because, yeah. 7.11. Anyhow, this is not why we are here, because I wanted to show you some of the cool features that will happen in INAV 7. The list is long. For now, we have 101 merge requests that were kinda added, and you can now wiggle to launch, you can now fix GPS estimation. You have something interesting, this I have over here, this is the VTOL. What will happen? Right now, INAV has the option to support 2 separate mixer profiles and switch between them during flight. So if you set up your VTOL in the vertical phase when it acts like a multi-rotor, and then on the second mixer profile, you set it up as the aeroplane and manage everything with correct motor assignment and the servos with the transition here and there. In the flight, you can just flip the switch and it will just transition from one phase to the other and should fly. There are already some videos on that. I know that I think Darren, possibly Painless 360, and also maybe Mark will do videos on how to do it. I will most probably skip the topic because I have no VTOL capable crafts right now, so not really. But it's absolutely possible to have the VTOL. Of course, you have to set up both phases, and it will just be a possibility to switch them between. But it's not the tail seater, by the way. Tail seater support will come on the separate merge request, and it's not even promised that the tail seater support will come as part of INAV 7. But that's a completely different story. So, what else? OSD improvements. We have improved landing detection. So now when you during the automatic land, it should more easily disarm itself. We have moron threshold. Who knows what moron threshold is, and whoever ever used a moron threshold? None of you. So it's gone. There is no longer an option to have the LPF2 on the D-term to simplify everything, because the first LPF on the D-term can handle everything. The servo S-bus, you can output all servos as the S-bus stream on any serial port. So if you want to have your own servo connected to a S-bus to PWM converter, you can just do it. Some improvements here and there. What else? Auto level renaming, okay. Flash, better support for flash on the H7 options. No more FreeSky D-series telemetry. This thing is gone. FreeSky D4, for example. This telemetry is no longer operational. Nobody was using that, so it's kind of killed. MSP VTX, I know that some people were waiting for it, so the MSP VTX support will be used. That means that you will be able to change the parameters of the HD0 VTXs. Here, there, what else? Oh, interesting. SpeedDB F405 V3 now will work with all outputs on the D-Shot No longer multi-shot will be required. We were kind of able to fix the D-shot problem by enabling the burst DMA. So that's amazing work that Shirase did, and it was also applied to a few other boards. So basically now all targets should have all outputs D-shot enabled, unless there is no DMA, but that's a completely different story. So this is a nice improvement, and the SpeeDB F405 V3 should be fully operational, and of course the support for the SpeeDB F405 V4, because this thing is coming as well. Some improvements here and there will be also quite a lot of very useful improvements in terms of the configurator itself. So maybe let me quickly launch the INAV configurator and let me show you what I'm talking about. Because there will be at least a few super interesting changes over here. So, first, most probably the biggest change you will notice is in the mixer tab. I know that INAV does not have resource mapping, and this is not resource mapping, but this functionality basically allows you to modify the outputs for the motors and servos however you want. The INAV is no longer limited by the artificial division we had before. So like this output is only for servo, this output is only for motors, and this is different mapping between multi-rotor and airplane. No, this is gone. And now you have the option to change the function on the output groups. So if, for example, output number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all driven by the timer 3, you can change the function of this output group by changing the function. Right now it's set to auto. We wanted to attach 6 motors, so it's connected to those. But if we will switch those to servos, so the first 4 outputs will be servo driven, and then switch those to auto, save and reboot, because you always have to save and reboot, you will quickly observe that right now this configuration was also applied. Outputs 1 and 2 will be assigned for servos, 3 and 4 to nothing because we have only 2 servos, and then 4 motors assigned on the other for outputs, and nothing on the timer 9 because timer 9 is the output 9 is not capable of supporting any motors. But you want it, you have it. And functionally, this is equivalent to the resource mapping on the Betaflight on the PWM outputs level, because resource mapping cannot do anything more than that, and we have the user interface. So look how awesome this is. And this is really like quite useful thing. Basically, any option, any version of output mapping that can be supported by the hardware, you can have it done over here, and it will work with absolutely not a problem. This is a huge thing in terms of the flexibility of use. This is really a super nice big thing that is kind of interesting. And option here, mixer transition. This is for setting up the VTOL, but we won't be talking about the VTOL at the moment. This is not relevant at times. Nothing major will change on the output stop, nothing major on the ports, nothing major on the configuration, failsafe, and so on and so on and so on. But for example, virtual pitot tube is now enabled by default on everything. If you want to have a pitot tube without having a pitot tube on the multi-rotor, you can have such an element in the OSD, and it will show you the estimated airspeed. It's there. Like and the values are actually quite nice, so it can be without absolutely any problem used on the fixed wing, where it just works because of the wind estimator and the ability INAV to estimate the wind speed. So you know basically what is your airspeed if you are going into or with the wind. And with the multi-rotors, it should also be operational. Nothing on the advanced programming, receiver, no, nothing on the here. Here I can show you the mixer transition. There should be somewhere. Yes, multifunction, beeper mute. No, where's the mixer transition? Where is the mixer transition? Interesting. Okay, I will have to look at this at the documentation after. Oh no, sorry, I know. I have the older version of the configurator, I think. So never mind. Never mind. On the GPS, there is some changes on the GPS support as well. Guess what? Can you see what's gone? Something is gone. Something is gone. UAV Tech, no, I don't have any thoughts on that. iTerm for the MC POS Z. But the position, this is basically only translation. This only translate at least in the idea is to directly transfer the position to speed. And because this is such a simple controller, originally it was designed not to use the iTerm, because over here on this phase we are only translating the position to desired speed, and only the speed to throttle controller has iTerm and everything else. But going back to the stuff, you see what's missing? NMEA. NMEA protocol, it's gone. Like INAV will no longer support this crap. Basically, right now, for years, I don't think it's even possible to buy an RC level GPS without the uBlocks protocol enabled. And it's slow, it's text-based, doesn't give you half of the functions, doesn't give you auto configuration on anything. There is not really a single good reason to still use the NMEA protocol in INAV, because if you have the GPS, most probably it's already supporting uBlocks protocol. So just go with uBlocks protocol and you will be one very happy person that everything work better. The difference between the uBlocks and the uBlocks 7 is just a different version of the same protocol. uBlocks 7 is faster, but also has less messages. And from the practical point of view, if your GPS works with uBlocks 7, work with uBlocks 7. If you cannot get a connection with the uBlocks 7, go back to the uBlocks protocol. So start with this. If it doesn't work, go with this, and you should be quite happy. Skazi B. Last week I was in the Czech Republic. I got me Kruszowice, something like that. Czerne Kruszowice. Too much of the bitterness for my liking, too much hops in this thing, but still kind of enjoyable beverage. Personally, I prefer Czerny Kozyl. Much nicer beer, much more sweeter, less bitterness, but still. Yeah, UAV Tech Mark. I'm not saying this is perfect. And yeah, the altitude control can be from time to time strange, but POS Z is mainly for the translation of the altitude to the speed, and maybe it will help, maybe it won't help. I have a feeling there will be not really much of the difference because, well, just don't. Anyhow, let's go back to the changes over here. Now you can enable Galileo, Beidou, and GLONASS. There are just 3 separate options for the those constellations, alternative to the GPS itself. And also we have much improved the support for the ground assistance services on those. Still, you can leave them disabled by default, but if you feel like you can have slightly better coverage, you might try enabling the ground assistance. And especially when you are in Europe, you can enable the Galileo. If you are in the continental China, okay, I will say it, West Taiwan. you can enable Beidou, and in case almost also Europe, you might try with the GLONASS, but most probably there will be not really much of the difference on that. Alignment tool. This is a nice thing, because right now the alignment tool is not only for aligning GPS. Previously, magnetometer. Previously, the alignment tool was mainly and only to align the orientation of the magnetometer. Now, but because the magnetometer orientation depends also on the flight controller orientation, yeah, I know it's stupid, then right now, you can basically improve of that, especially on the roll. You can get the full. You can basically work with both. You are not only now limited to only a nice visual tool on how your flight controller and your magnetometer unit is oriented. You can right now have everything over here. So yeah, another simplification. We can go back to the normal orientation. So if we roll like that, then you know, and then you have to, okay, 0. So this is nice. This is nice thing, especially when you indeed installed the flight controller in the different orientation than the default. Not many people are aware that if you rotate the flight controller, then you also have to modify the orientation of the magnetometer. And now with this nice graphical interface, you can do it without guessing some values in the how it's called in the CLI. Some changes in the OSD, because yeah, there are some additional elements. Especially Darren likes Starlink. No, Darren likes to add new OSD elements, so it's there. We of course still have support for but now we are on the analog mode, so you can only have auto and TSC and PAL. But in case, of course, if we would in the ports tab, for example, select the MSP display port, then we would get options to also configure LLS-TON. There is no advantage of activation of the magnetometer in the wing. So actually, I think even the documentations and the tutorial say do not activate magnetometer on the airplane, because it gives you nothing. And just follow this advice. And now in the OSD, we gonna have the option to select the type of, yes, Osprey 111, the SpeeDB F405 V3. The problem with the D-Shot was with the F405 V3, because SpeeDB F7 had no problems with the D-Shot. But yeah, the F405 V3 will work perfectly. So we can select we even gonna have the Betaflight HD compatibility mode. Man, I wish that DJI finally added all the correct glyphs everywhere they needed to add, and we don't have to go with this compatibility mode, because this kind of sucks. But well, that's the reality. No changes in the LED strip, no changes in the sensor black box, and so on. And we also have to go slightly for a moment to the PID tuning. There will be some changes over here. Like, for example, in the mechanics, I mentioned this already, there is no longer an option to have the filters. Sorry, it was here. On the determ filter other than the determ one, it's gone. Like, use only one and everything will be fantastic. But this thing also appeared, and this will stay, maybe some other. Probably none of you knows that, but for the last almost 4 years, INAV supports the rate dynamics that were introduced a few years ago by the EMU flight. And people on the EMU flight loved it, but nobody knew that the INAV also supports the rate dynamics. A few weeks ago, I asked on my YouTube channel, hey, do you use INAV rate dynamics? Because honestly, I had an intention, I will kill it. I would just remove the rate dynamics. Nobody is using that. So let's just drop this thing because nobody wants it. Let's just save some flash for something else. And to my surprise, yeah, almost nobody was using rate dynamics in the INAV, but the comments were like, oh, what is it? Interesting. Could you maybe like tell us more? And I was like, maybe it is actually a good idea to try to throw some light on this function. And first of all, we kind of need a user interface for the rate dynamics. There will be a video of what is I had a video what is the InmoFlight rate dynamics, but I made it private because it had unsatisfactory performance, especially in the terms of the average time views. The watch time on the video was below my threshold because I have a rule. By the way, I will show you something. A year ago, if you have a YouTube channel, you might appreciate what I did. This is not yet public. This is only my personal project. Nobody else can work with that. I made myself a tool. And the tool is to support me to run my channel. Let me show you how it works. But the Java start. You know, Java is starting. I'm a Java developer. No, recently I'm only a Confluence developer and I mainly design UMLs. But anyhow, and if we go to the localhost 8018, I have a tool. I'm still working on the tool. It's not finished. To nicely and quickly be able to get some interesting statistics in the last few months of the video. By the way, the official YouTube analytics does not support this information that I'm actually getting from here. So I can, for example, find the worst videos. And worst videos, currently the worst video by the score, with my own algorithm, is the cybercrime or not, with the average view percentage of the 22%. YouTube doesn't give you this information in this context over here. So most probably this video will just like people not watching that. I have my threshold that if the video is not performing at least above 20% of the average view percentage, then I'm getting rid of that. You have no idea how many videos I removed in the last year. More than 500. Honestly, I removed more than 500 videos from my YouTube channel. I was above 1,000 and now I'm slightly above 550, I think. So I'm getting rid of the crappy videos. They are gone. I'm not saying it's giving me a lot, but let's say. So I have this tool. There will be graphs, there will be some prediction. I'm also right now working on the artificial networks, neural network to help me to work with that. But I have a tool. If the video is not performing how I want the video to perform, then I just kill the video. It's just like super simple and convenient. Anyhow. So the rate dynamics. It's basically a stick filling modifier. In the simplest implementation, it allows you to add a PID controller on your stick to filter out all the shakes. You can make your quad much more responsive, much less responsive, to fly smoother, to fly more aggressive. There's a good video from Kebab FPV on what rate dynamic is, so you might want to watch it if you are interested. There was my video on the InmoFlight rate dynamics, but this thing is gone and no longer with us, and there will be for sure my next video on the rate dynamics as soon as I will find some time to record this video, and that's that. There are still a pretty good chance that still a few interesting features will pop into INAV. One of those is huge. Like one of those features is a killer. Nobody else has something like that. Even ArduPilot doesn't have something like that. And it's for autonomous flights and OSD and really like amazing stuff. I watched a few videos on how it behaves, but right now the authors have not decided yet to make this thing public. They have this thing in their own fork. And because they have not made it public, they do not have to make it public, so it's not here. But if they do, and I hope they will, this will be a fucking killer feature. Man, this will be amazing. I cannot say what it is. But it's super cool. Arduino Pilot doesn't have anything like advanced like that. Much more advanced than anything that Arduino Pilot actually offers. So, as you can see, it looks kinda interesting. INAV 7 might have a few interesting new features. We are also mainly me, starting to not a Q&A. Sorry, I wanted to start a poll. Thinking of the name and a name. Let me type something. Oh, I forgot about one of the options. But okay, those are 3 candidates. Which one of those candidates do you like more? Damian M, am I doing INAV and YouTube full time, or this is just a hobby? Right. If I would like to do it full time, my YouTube channel would have to have at least 10 times more monthly views as it has right now, at least. Right now, I'm somewhere around 90,000. I should get more than 1 million. I should have more than 1 million views to be able to even think about going full time. And because INAV is just a open source project without any sponsors, although we have some companies that we can honestly say they are friends of the project. And they are not shy to throw us a hardware of help with this and that. Like, for example, SpeeDB, super nice cooperation, GapRC, Matexes, from time to time Foxeer, from time to time Holybro, super nice companies. And if we want something, we get it, and it's a nice cooperation between the business and the open source community. But no, no. The reality is that if you want to live off the YouTube channel, if you have less than 1 million views a month, it's really hard to do so. Sure, the options like the Patreon and stuff like that help. But even if you would like to be able to live off your patrons, you still have to have enough of the views, enough of the reach to be able to do it. My monthly income from doing this is like cost of it's the one multi-rotor drone. So it's only a hobby for me. And I'm not sure if you know, but right now the market on the YouTube is kind of tough. And people who were able to live year or 2 years ago from their YouTube channels, now it's not really working like that, because the most probably for all, if not a majority of the YouTubers, income from the ads went down of at least 50% in the last year. This is the reality. At least 50% less of the income from the ads. And patrons and other direct support options are fluctuating all the time. And my observation is that, well, majority of the, especially on the RC and FP hobby channels, are only like able to keep the level. They are not growing. They are maybe not shrinking, but they are absolutely not growing in terms of the views. You want some proof? I have some proof, man. Like my data. This is my data. If you want to know how my channel is doing, this is the data. Monthly, I usually get around 100,000 views, but this really like fluctuates on the times, how many long time content I have, how much short time content, how much I publish. And recently I stopped publishing as much, because right now publishing only 1 video per week, not like 3 or 4 videos per week. So that's that. that you have, and those drops are when I deleted a lot of videos. Like in the month of November 2022, I deleted videos worth more than 1 million views because I decided they are just suck. So that's that. But roughly, this is my baseline, between 75 and 125,000 views per month. But income also depends what's the difference between, what's the share between the long form content and the short form content. But that's how it goes. If we, for example, go to, I don't know, the biggest one, Joshua Bartwell. He's the biggest, so everybody knows Joshua. He's not growing. If you look here, the number of views on Joshua's videos are not really growing, and if you try to run a line, here he also removed some videos, so the number is lower. But Joshua is roughly around 1 million views per month. But he had months in 2021 when we had 1.5 billions. So also the line kind of goes down. And one of the biggest misconceptions is that number of subscribers is important. No, number of subscribers is completely not important, because subscribers do not translate to income in any way. So even if you got 5,000 subscribers in 1 month, it doesn't mean that your income will increase. But so sorry to say that, but subscribers are absolutely useless metric right now. So it doesn't look very, very well for Joshua. I mean, he's there, he's still doing that, so that means it's still profitable. But who's still recording videos? UI Vitech, okay, I wonder if Mark is still with us. He's not recording videos. Albert Kim, Bot Grinder is growing. Bot Grinder is one of the channels that is still growing. Rotor Riot, Mr. D is also growing. LC Model Reviews, XJet, yeah. Nurk, Konaste, Chris, Umagaft, Matstech. So Mark, UAV Tech, like you see, okay, it also doesn't look good. I know that Mark kinda is not publishing as much as he was publishing, just like me. So the views are going down. Albert Kim, the views are going down. Bot Grinder is the exception, because Bot Grinder is easily going every month stable. Recently around 80, 90, and even has those moments when he really spikes up. So Bot Grinder is actually growing because he hasn't filled his niche completely. Rotor Riot, come on, this is huge drop in terms of the views. But Rotor Riot still has the shop, so maybe for the Rotor Riot it's maybe slightly less. But the numbers on the Rotor Riot are not really that like nobody cares about the Rotor Riot anymore. More beta prints. You can find the RC switches driven with the PWM. You connect this one was on the servers and it will work. One day I will make a video about that. But yeah, it can be done. That's absolutely not a problem. Mr. D is growing. This is like super nice. Like his hard work is absolutely showing. Being very precise, fixed wing and INAV, and doing his stuff, and people are buying this. So as you can see, this is nice. And honestly, Darren doing amazing job over here. So kudos, Darren. I'm not sure if you are watching this, but kudos, man. It's super cool. Okay, Bruce stopped publishing, so nobody is watching Bruce. 50,000 monthly, but he's not publishing anything, so you know. XJet on his second channel, meh, yeah, okay, yeah, but this is a special kind of the content, let's say. This is not really directly related to the RC. Nurk FPV, meh, nobody is watching Nurk FPV anymore. Those days are gone when Nurk had 1 million views per month, and nobody really gives a crap about that. Eric Konaste, Yeah, but okay, that was maybe not the best example. Chris Rosser, okay, Chris Rosser is also growing. Chris Rosser also is doing amazing job in terms of finding his niche and pushing his content and actually finding viewers for that. So yeah, Chris, you're doing amazing job over here, and maybe we should all look at exactly what is your secret. No, but Chris. Invests quite a lot in his channel and his materials, and this is really high quality content. So absolutely something interesting. Maybe I should see what really Chris is doing and try to steal some ideas from him. Maybe that's not an idea. Bad thing after all. Oh my god, like nobody cares. And also Matt Stech. Oh, okay, Ian also got some traction this year, especially after the DJI showed, and Walksnail. So yeah, but okay, but this is not like, those are not the numbers that allow you to survive. In my daily job, I earn 8 times more. No, more. Wait, 15 times more. Not of every possible way I'm earning from the YouTube. So no, nah. This is not really like Painless 360. Okay, Lee. Let's see how Lee is doing. I should have Lee somewhere here. I know I have Lee over here. Hey, oh, here is Lee. 400,000 2021. But still 278,000 in the August. No, sorry, September. Like those are not the best numbers ever, but still stable, and quite a lot. But Lee would not be able to live off that. Lee is already retired. So for him, it's just a hobby. He doesn't have to do it, but he wants to. Like, so that's what that's what's go there. But living from being a social media creator is not that simple as many think. Especially if you are doing a content for people that are not those many on the face of the earth. Because let's be honest, the RCFPV hobby, this is a very extremely niche stuff. And Bardwell, which like everybody knows Bardwell, and he has only 1 million views per month. Only. Try to compare that with the YouTubers that are living from the YouTube for years, other influencers from different platforms. Like, okay, you want example? The biggest on the RC, Bardwell. He has roughly around 1 million views per month. That's what he can do. And now, close to the right, and now let me show you something. Let's compare it with Veritasium. A guy is making amazing videos. Veritasium is making popular science videos. If you do not know the Veritasium yet, you definitely should subscribe. But they are not really that super. That sometimes they are, especially when he goes into mathematics. But sometimes they are kind of like, okay, but okay, still. And he has only 374 videos. His monthly views are around 25 millions. You see the difference? Not the biggest YouTuber in the world, Veritasium, although like popular science, kind of nice, is still like 25 times more popular than the most popular RC and FPV oriented YouTuber. Drone camps. Okay, let's compare it with the drone camps, because why not? We can. Drone camps is running at 300,000 views per month. 10% of Veritasium. Like, it's really like hard to compare. Critical Drinker. Critical Dream Critical Drinker. The Critical Drinker, guys, reviews the video games and the movies. And by the way, he's also a writer. He's writing some quite nice action novels. So the guy knows what he's talking about. And 10 million views, at least. More than 10 million views a month. 10 times more popular than the most popular RC and FPV related YouTuber ever, with only 400 videos, comparing to Bardwell has right now around 2,000 videos. So where's Joshua? Like almost 3,000 videos. So you see the difference. You see how this thing, like, there is a ceiling in terms in RC and FPV hobby, and if you were not able to get there when the market was still growing, sorry, but you're screwed. So that's that. And yeah. Anyhow, RC Sailors. RC Sailors, I think they are a special case. RC Sailors. I cannot find them. They were there. Let's quickly find RC Sailors. Somehow, some time ago, YouTube stopped me recommending the RC Sailors. RC Sailors. Yeah. Half a
I would have never guessed in a million years.
RC Sailors. How much of the RC Sailors are getting? Okay. Something happened. Something happened in terms of the RC Sailors, because they jumped from 1 million to like 38 millions. What the fuck they did? That's amazing. But okay, it's a she. It's a she. It helps. Believe me, but the pretty face on the thumbnail of the of the YouTube video actually helps a lot. Like that's the reality. If I was a tall, thin, blonde with a nice boobs and a cool figure, I would fucking rule this RC. I would be the most popular RC FPV oriented YouTuber ever. Like, trust me on that. I would sell all of my videos with my boobs, but unfortunately I can't. So that's not really happening. Whoa, but they really like exploded, and I have no idea why, because their last test videos is nothing really that's super popular. What the hell did they did? I have no idea what the RC Sailors did. Maybe it's this. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah. I see there is a topic of the simplified tuning, like in Betaflight. I have half of this function already implemented. I know, I honestly have half of this function already implemented, but this is not a direct port. This is not a port of the Betaflight simplified tuning. I have some work. I have most of the flight controller work already done, but still some things needs to be added, because right now you can tune the PIDs, but you cannot really modify the rates yet. But my idea is to like get rid of everything that's happening in the PID tuning tab with in total 11 sliders, nothing more. Like even the filters, there will be no separate sliders for filters. Everything will be basically driven by the 11. No, not the 11. Let me check how many actually there will be. Open recent. Let me quickly open the code and let me check how many sliders there will be. This is, by the way, this is idea. This is the same idea as in Betaflight. The math is completely different. And I call this easy tune. First checkout. Discard one file. Easy. Has it changed. Easy tune. And my idea is to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sliders. 8 sliders for everything, including crates, including PIDs, including filters, expo, and all that crap that's happening. My original plan was to put it in the INAV 7. Right now, I'm not sure, but maybe it will actually happen, and we're gonna have this thing actually implemented. I still have to modify some things because it's not really working like I expected, but maybe, who knows? That was that. Purchasing views, but purchasing views does not work. We are talking about RC sailors. Yeah, that's not really like it works because you only pay for views, but you get nothing nothing in return. So that's not that. What's my favorite fixed wing? Atomercy Penguin. Honestly, it's amazing. It's super cool. Like it's small, it's agile, it's fun to fly. I today sold my Penguin. And I think I will also sell the swordfish, and I think I will stay only with the Penguin because it's small, it's light, easy to launch, easy to fly, and it's just like easy to transport, super convenient, super nice, and that's that. Okay, I think we will be slowly ending for today. I don't have anything much more planned for the rest of the evening. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, man. I sell my airplanes and drones and everything. Because if I would not, I would have no space to get a new stuff. This is a relatively small apartment. Imagine that. Like it's cluttered with stuff everywhere, with crap on top of different crap. So no, of course, it's like you're not getting money back. This is not how it works. But well, I have to sell it from time to time. I have too much. I have too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 around here. So as you can imagine, like if I want to get something new, I have to sell old ones. Of course, I'm losing money on everything. But sometimes I get stuff for free. I get the samples from the manufacturer, so this kind of like simplifies everything. But if I build it, I usually give a good price on everything I sell because I go. Maybe someone else will be happy with that, and I even like usually add some stickers, so it's a special version. Okay, that's all for today. Maybe we'll do the live stream next week. We had no live stream in the last 2 months, so maybe we're gonna have the live stream next week. Who knows? But I will let you know later. There are also some build streams coming. I have the interesting quad to build, and I also will have some interesting airplanes, hopefully, to build. So that's that. And for today, it will be also. Thank you very much for joining, and let's see each other in a while. Not tomorrow. On Monday, interesting video is coming out. Updated take on what exactly is the autotune and how to use autotune. And happy flying.